I, Ananya Sigdar, along with my co-host Anupam Mehrotra, eagerly anticipate participating in a captivating panel discussion.
Today's objective is to discuss product and FMCG of fast-moving consumer goods, a field of immense significance and adaptability. Throughout this discussion, we hope to provide you with valuable insights, answer important questions, and provide the relevant information that you seek. Today, we have the honor of hosting a distinguished panel from IIT Kharagpur who have secured noteworthy internship positions at well-established companies. So, without further ado, let us get to know our panelists first.
First, we have with us Mr. Dhawal, interning at HUL. Dhawal, please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, so I'm currently interning my summer internship at the HUL. I had my interviews last year and we'll discuss more in detail in further questions. So hi to everyone.
Next, we have
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Pratik, interning at PNG. Pratik, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi everyone. So this is Pratik. I'm currently interning with PNG at their Hyderabad plant and looking forward to the session.
Thank you so much. Prior to commencing our panel discussion, I'd really like to extend my sincere congratulations to our esteemed panelists for their remarkable achievements. We express our anticipation for the invaluable knowledge and insights that each of one of you will impart us today.
So, in between, I would like to take a minute and welcome our third panelist, Mr. Suman Das, who is currently interning at ITC. So, welcome, Suman. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, am I audible? I'm audible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so myself Suman, and currently I'm doing my internship in ITC, and great to meet everyone. Looking forward to today's panel discussion.
Thank
I
you so much,
extend.
Suman.
Yeah. So, without further ado, let us embark on our panel discussion. Our first question is as follows. In the light of abundance of promising opportunities available, it is only natural for aspiring individuals to experience uncertainty when it comes to selecting companies. I would kindly request our esteemed panelists to share their insights on evaluating and prioritizing various companies. Suman, would you like to start, please?
Yeah, sure. So for me, firstly, you need to understand where your interest lies, and that you must have been doing for the last 1 year, maybe. And so after that, you need to see the companies and see the profiles of the companies, and then decide. Like they also have a brief description when the companies come. Like in ERP, you will be able to see a description of the job that they are offering. So after going through that, you might be able to decide, okay, this is what interests me, so after that, you can take a well-informed decision.
That was great. Dhawal, would you like to go next?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, so definitely. So prioritizing your company. So basically, you know yourself better from the last 2 to 3 years you have been working here at IIT Kharagpur, right? So you know yourself better. So you have been at this place. You know yourself better. Like what all profiles do you want actually, and you want to focus and you want your foot into your career in the next step, right? So basically, first of all, discard those all profiles which you don't want. Actually, that's the first step which I'll suggest. Like many people try coding and consulting or maybe finance or anything. It's great to do that, but yeah, just identify your actual interest where it lies and just go ahead with it and ask relevant seniors, go through relevant medium articles or maybe refer seniors. That would definitely help you all.
Thank you, Dhawal. Pratik, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, so like majorly as Dhaval said, firstly, before companies profiles which you guys have selected, so basically it depends on what your strengths are at that current scenario. Because see, CDC is all about getting competitive along with your other candidates. So you need to prioritize what sets you apart from the other 1,000 people or the other 1,500 people who are going to sit in the same process. So that you should prioritize the profiles and companies. I don't think FMCG, like there are a very less amount of companies and all are very good and each have very diverse internship experiences and all. So yeah, that's very good. All of that.
Thank you everyone for their insightful inputs.
Moving to the next question. Panelists, could you please tell us, the audience, what is the generalized selection process for the companies, the number of rounds, and the nature of the process for the companies you interviewed? Dhawal, please share your thoughts on this.
Yeah, sure. So for HUL specifically, the number of rounds is actually three. So first round starts with a simple Google form. Actually, it starts with the CV application on your ERP portal. The CV, along with it comes a Google form link where you have to fill in all of your details, where you uh, select like what they try to see as a perfect fit. If you are a perfect fit for the company, basically they'll know you better as a person, like what all values do you carry, what all virtues do you follow actually. So this is the first step of the Google form. It's around like 15 to 20 simple questions where they try to know you better. So yeah, after that, around some of the students get filtered for the next round, which is the higher view round actually. So basically I'll tell you about the higher view round. So it's basically a sort of virtual interview where they will be flashing some questions in front of you, and you have to answer within a stipulated time, where your video and of course audio would be on. And yeah, of course you would be answering in the real time, so you don't have time to prepare for those questions. You have 30 seconds kind of thing, and you need to prepare some points in your mind, and you have to speak in the next 3 minutes of the time. And then finally from this, students get filtered into the final round, which is the final interview round. It's a single round on the day of interview, uh, on your campus process basically, and that goes around for around 30 minutes usually. And that's all. Like after that you are done with. So this is the basic general idea of the process, how it goes.
Thank you so much. That was really informative. Pratik, would you like to respond to it?
Yeah, yeah. So in the case of PNG, basically after you apply on their portal as well as on ERP, obviously, so they'll basically send you a link of a psychometric test, which actually contains basic aptitude based questions, which kind of number puzzles and all. So once you solve that, they'll also send a link to the behavioral type of questions, which are based on how you as a person, like what values you carry, and as Dhaval rightly said, whether you are a right fit for the company or not. So they just judge your decision making skills, your situation, how would you handle situations through one short round. And basically, after these two rounds, one shortlist is announced for the group interview round. So in PNG, basically what happened in our time, there were no personal interviews as such. There were actually group interviews where, I mean, there were two, three of us, and there was the panel, and that group interview itself was the thing. And on day one, only the HR round was there, and yeah, it concluded that way.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. Now, Suman, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so for ITC, it was a bit different. Like, first there was a Google form which had like 4 or 5 subjective questions. So after that, on the basis of your answers and also CV, they shortlisted people for the group discussion round. So we had the group discussion, and after that, they shortlisted people for the technical interviews. And then in after the technical interview, we had a HR interview. So after all these rounds, finally they selected people.
That was great.
Now getting to one of the most important questions. What are all the different necessary skill sets needed in order to grab an internship at an FMCG or product profile? Would any of the panelists would like to take that question? Pratik, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So see, basically, for FMCGs now, the shortlisting basically is going to occur on basis of your CGPA and your department, right? So major factor, major the portion goes to CGPA and department. Like PNG, it was this case. So skill set is basically very diverse. I mean, you should have some kind of problem solving abilities where you would have made some decisions in your PORs, let's say. So, I mean, what I would suggest is like POR, project management skills. Those are the things which they look for. And obviously, if you're doing well in academics, that is also a very good plus. But yeah, again, as I said, majorly it depends on the department and CGPA and how you're scoring in those tests. So.
Thank you, Pratik. Suman, kindly share your thoughts as well.
Yeah, so in the case of ITC, what I felt was that they checked every skill basically, like from your academic performance, and after that your communication skills, and also how good a leader you are, whether you know how to work in a team, like how can you manage people. These are a few things that they saw, and yeah, so basically they finally see what kind of a person you are and whether you can add value to their organization. So for ITC, it was mostly that co-curricular activities was also important, leadership skills was important, and as Pratik said, PR is also important, academics are also important. So yeah.
Thank you, Suman. Dhawal, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, definitely. So on contrary to these two companies, like HUL had a basic diversity in their hiring. So basically, I'm from the Department of Agricultural and Food Engineering. So basically, I too had a shortlist in PNG and HUL as well. So basically, they don't look for the specific department, to be honest. It's upon your skill set. So it's very important for the other students from the so-called non-core department, or maybe tier 3 department like agri, meta, civil, or maybe anything other than mechanical, chemical. So it's nothing like that ki you cannot crack this internship. There are other co-interns with me. One of them is from the ocean and engineering department. One is from electrical. One is from industrial. So it's nothing sort of you need to be bogged down due to your departments. It's upon your hard work and whatever skills you have developed until now. Like some of the skills I would like to mention are like the structured thinking, basically, which is most important. Other than that is something related to the supply chain, basically. So all these FMCG companies look forward to the supply chain profile, basically, to our campus. So you need to have something sort of thing of supply chain in your CV. That would definitely help you to go ahead, actually. So yeah, rest all things remain same as said by Suman and Pratik. Yeah.
Thank you, Dhawal. That was very insightful.
Now, moving on. Given the number of applicants looking for internships at a company to be very massive, I'd like to hear from the panelists about what makes a candidate stand out and what constitutes the ideal CV that the interviewer looks for, and what are the online courses worth writing in it. Someone, please share your thoughts about this.
Yeah, so I don't think there is anything such as ideal. I think you should be the person you are, and you should present yourself like the person you are. You should be very truthful, and as far CV is concerned, you should know every word of your CV, because in the interview round specifically for ITC, they grilled on the CV like anything, like every word they were asking me to explain everything, whatever I wrote in the CV. And basically, yeah, so you should be yourself. You should present yourself the way you are. Don't try to be someone different and think that maybe okay, if I try to show off some other skill set which might be important to them, maybe they'll take me in. So yeah, so that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Suman. Pratik, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so see, good CV basically means that, you know, it should not be dominant in any one particular direction. So basically what I mean is that if you have a POR, so it should not be like a very POR heavy CV or just academically oriented CV. Actually, it should be a mix of all. And obviously, PORs are a very good plus for the interviewer as well, because it gives them a base ki, haan, this person has worked in a team before, he knows these things. So they obviously give you an upper edge. And I mean, yeah, again, the academic part, the CGP and all also matters. So yeah, just keep your CV diverse. Do not put some things which are too heavy, like pure, let's say there are 5 pures and then only projects, there is one project. So that becomes kind of a pure heavy CV. So I prefer that, keep the CV like a very regular and very equal content in all the slides. So that is actually good.
Thank you so much, Pratik. Dhawal, we'd like to hear from you too.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, CV comprises of, first of all, your CGPA. That is the first point they'll be looking at forward to the FMCG especially. So your CGPA is very important in this case if you're targeting a role at FMCG. So still who are listening here might be like they might be having the CDC right now. But yeah, if there are people from audience who are right from the first year, I'll definitely suggest them to keep a very good CGPA. Like you need not take much efforts, but yeah, you need to be consistent in your studies and you need to be regular actually. So minimum of around 8.8 and plus is preferred, along with some other diverse set. I'm not saying like you should be diving into only academics or just following research projects as rightly said by other two. You should be having a diverse CV with different kinds of projects or maybe internships, past experiences, or maybe yeah, some kind of PRs. That would definitely add on to it. But yeah, CGPA would be the first preference which these FMCGs look forward to.
Thank you so much.
So, how much impact do previous internships and doing projects have in cracking an internship in the FMCG profile? Pratik, would you like to start?
Yeah, so as correctly pointed out by Dhaval, like basically they look for supply chain, some knowledge related to supply chain in your CV. So basically, what I mean, if anybody is targeting this, you should at least have, some project, or let it not be an internship, but some kind of a project where you can demonstrate you have learned some things of a supply chain and you know how the supply chain works, how different components work and all, like how basically in industry works. And see, previous internships and projects are very important because see, in PNG the interviews are like totally based upon situational based questions, like questions where they ask you to cite any situation from your previous experience, key how should have you done that, and like situations like that. So if you have projects, like good projects, good internships, it becomes very easy for you to convince the interviewer that you have the necessary skill set and you are going ahead. So yeah, they have a huge impact. But again, while choosing them, please keep in mind that it's preferable to have something related to supply chain or industrial manufacturing and something like that.
Thank you, Pratik. Dhaval, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So along with internships and projects, there comes an important section of competitions too. So where I actually think I made a difference was at the competitions too. So along with internships and projects, if you somewhere fail to grab these internships or projects, you can definitely focus on the competitions. No one is going to stop you to participate in this kind of competitions. And even if you don't secure a podium, you would definitely be going to learn through this process. So yeah, focusing on the competitions is also equally important as you focus on internships and projects. So if you are focusing especially towards FMCG, there are a lot of kind of competitions going on around. Like if you find in KGP only, so there are multiple societies or maybe multiple departmental societies who conduct such kind of competitions in their fests actually. So you should be targeting those if you feel like you want a experience of those. They will be having a real problem statement to be working upon, a proper industry level problem. So you would be gaining a lot of insights from them too actually. So yeah, rightly said as internship projects, definitely. But yeah, this thing I would like to add on is about the competitions actually.
Thank you, Dhaval. That was really insightful. Suman, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Pratik and Dhawal pretty much said everything. What I would like to say is, yeah, projects and internships are important. And specifically, what I feel is there are two things. One is projects, having projects in your CV helps you in the interviews because it gives them a point to talk about and to discuss. So that is one thing. And also, I feel like for me, I never felt like doing too many projects, but whatever project, like two or three, whatever you do, I would suggest that you do it pretty well because in my interview or specifically in ITC interviews, what they do is they will ask you in depth about whatever you have done. So they'll see whether you have explored it in depth and you were really interested in what you did. So that is the two things that I would suggest. Yeah.
Thank you, Suman, for your valuable inputs.
Now we have our next question. How much weightage do the companies give to this a person's CGPA? And if a student's CGPA is less, then what he or she can do to improve their chances to get selected into the internship of a particular company? Dhawal, would you please like to start?
Yeah, sure. As I earlier said, CGPA plays a quite important role here. So for the students just beginning their life at KGP from the first year or maybe second year, you still have a lot of chance to improve your CGPA. So do focus on your CGPA. But students other than like who are just going to appear for the CDC and don't have a decent CGPA, but yeah, of course, 8 plus is definitely a benchmark which is appreciated and to have actually. So along with that, having diverse projects, internships, and competitions would definitely help if you are lacking with some CGPA or sort of thing. So yeah, just focus on getting a decent CGPA above. As I said, 8.5 plus is very good. So just try to maintain as high as possible.
Thank you so much. That was really motivative. Now, Pratik would like to hear something from you.
Yeah, yeah. So I think every panelist has emphasized upon it equally. So see, CGPA is the very rock bottom thing that FMCG companies are going to look for, like whatever you have done, but if you don't have that decent CGPA, then it's not going to happen. Like FMCG's companies, they have something like this. So I mean, yeah, 8.5 plus is definitely a very good thing. And just maintaining 8 plus also does if you can complement it with other like the well set competitions, PORs, and this thing. So I mean, yeah, CGPA is of utmost importance because they, while CV shortlisting, they only look at two things: the CGPA and the department. So yeah, please do maintain a decent CGPA. 8 point, like aim for 8.5 plus at least, and you can actually land up between 8 to 8.5 plus. So that's fine.
Thank you so much. Now, Suman, would you like to respond?
I mean, there is nothing else to add. They pretty much said everything. It's just like CGP is the first indicator of how committed you are to your work. So yeah, so that is the thing. So yeah, 8.5 plus is decent. So try and maintain that.
Thank you so much, Suman.
Moving forward, we would like to know how important is probability and statistics, general aptitude and puzzle questions, and what it would be the ideal time to start focusing on them. Pratik, would you like to give a solution on this?
Yeah, sure. So see, in the case of PNG, the psychometric test, so it's not something which you can prepare for months, in which you can, practice something and all. It's a thing where, they check your like sense of basically the present, how you are thinking and what your current capabilities and skills are as to aptitude. And there's nothing as such to prepare for it. Some basic math would do, and basically probability and statistics, they don't have a role to play, at least at PNG process selections. You can actually find the psychometric test questions on YouTube as well. I mean, there are certain very like it's kind of a game. It's not something which it involves some formulas or something you have to prepare for it. It's just it's a game where you have to cross levels and all based on your like current scenario. And yeah, so I mean, preparation basically, if you want to prepare good for it, please refer YouTube videos are there which actually like portray what kind of questions are there, and then yeah, you can go and practice them. So that will do. No need of specially giving time. Meanwhile, that time you can give it to other profiles. So that would be great.
Thank you, Pratik. Dhawal, would you like to go next?
Yeah, basically, as I said, aptitude does help. So the first thing in aptitude comes about the structural thinking too. So try to develop your skill set of looking forward to things like you structure your thoughts well. So first principle thinking basically helps in this. So if you might or maybe your friends might be preparing for consult profile, so you can join on with them and just try to sharpen on your aptitude skills. So probs and stats, as far as I feel like it's not much important. But yeah, in aptitude, structural thinking and putting forward your thoughts, what you have, your ideas in a structured way is very important here.
Thank you, Dhawal. That was insightful. Suman, Can you please add something to that?
Yeah, so I don't think prop stats is important when it comes to ITC selection process. But yeah, as Dhawal correctly said, that you should have a good like way of thinking in a structured way, and also putting it forward. And also in the GD process of ITC, I feel you should give points which are kind of out of the box, because there are many generic points that everyone will give. So you have to think out of the box and put forward something that will be worth noting, and which might help them to identify you. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Suman.
Going to our next question. How much expertise does the interviewer expect from us? And how can we ace the interview round? Suman, would you like to start?
Okay, so I don't think there is much expectation from the interviewers. They just want to see that whatever you have done until then, how well you have done it. Like if you have done some project, then they'll ask you in depth about that project. And for ITC specifically, they will ask you what is your favorite course, and you have to say, like, mention one. For me, it was fluid mechanics. So then they went on to ask Navier-Stokes equation and details about that. So they were basically seeing that whatever I've done, whatever I've studied, whether I knew everything in depth as well as breadth. So that depth and breadth is important. And also you should be very honest in your interviews. Don't try to make up answers, and don't try to pretend as if you know something when you do not. So if you just don't know, like for me, like 2 3 times I just straight away said that I don't have any idea about this, I'm unaware of it. So you should be very honest, and yeah, go with the flow and try to answer every question in a good way, in a detailed way. Don't like explain them too, like don't go into too many complications, because they might not be aware of it. Yeah, so these are a few things that you can follow.
That was really a valuable input. Now, Pratik, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So see, when I talk about expertise, so I think that's what I mean. PNG has one different process is that it does not ask you any kind of technical questions in the interviews. So I think in a HL and ITC they ask about some basic concepts and all, but what's specific to PNG, they don't expect you to know all these technical terms because they expect you to learn in the job itself. But the level of expertise they actually demand is your decision making abilities, your how you basically think in a particular type of like they'll give you situations where you have to basically think and get your way out key. And also on a previous managerial experiences they'll ask you matlab, if that would have happened what you would have done. So in terms of expertise they expect you to be honest, as Suman correctly said, about your previous experiences. You should be very thorough with what you have done, what is in your CV, what you have done up till now. And yeah, you must be able to express it to the interview. That's it.
Thank you so much. Now, Dhawal, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So basically at HL, what I observed from my interview is my interview sort of ran for around 30 minutes. So at the 20th minute, the interviewer was like, ki, okay, I expected much of a knowledge from you, knowing that you are from the Department of Agriculture and Food Engineering. The question exactly what he asked was, how should we be avoiding the food wastage? So I was not able to answer it with the proper technicalities. So I just said some by a layman thinking or maybe by first principles method, what all thoughts came to my mind, I just answered them. But yeah, at the 20th minute, he definitely said, Ki, I expected much more things from you. But what drove the interview further is the interest what you showed towards the interview. So basically, I kept on asking, Ki, okay, so I have this much of knowledge. So do you have any ideas or maybe whatever inputs or maybe currently the company is functioning to stop this food wastage? So yeah, I thought that HUL might be looking or maybe looking at the students who are more interested to know actually, even if they don't personally know about the nitty-gritties of the role. But yeah, they would be definitely appreciating you if you be more curious and ask them the question. So try to make the interview as two-way as possible and don't keep it one way, just that he's asking and you are answering. So just keep it two-way, like you should be also answering questions with the simple interest, with just a basic interest. Like you don't feel bogged down. Like if you, as I said, like on the 20th minute, I was told like we expected more, given that your department is core agri. So yeah, just keep on asking relevant questions, go deep dive, ask, like try to don't try to impress them, but just try to know about the process well. Actually, even if it doesn't crack you an interview, at least you will have some knowledge from the industry expert itself. So yeah, just be curious while your interviews.
Thank you so much, Dhawal. It was really insightful and informative.
Now, moving forward, what is the ideal roadmap for students preparing for FMCG and product profiles in the next 1 month, and how they can utilize their time to the maximum extent? Would any one of the panelists would like to take up this question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so exactly. Go on, Pratik. Acha. Chal. So the exact roadmap for the next month would be to sharpen your, first of all, speaking skills with the interviewer. So try to have as many as mock interviews with seniors or maybe batchmates as possible, right? So this would definitely help you make fluent while your interviews, and that is actually appreciated. And another thing is, as I said earlier, structured thinking. So try to develop structured thinking with the students who are preparing for consults. So that would actually help you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Would any one of the other panelists would like to add anything to this?
Yeah, I mean, what Dhaval said, basically, no need of any technical expertise needed, but actually, you should focus more on how you're communicating, how your speaking skills are. Try giving mock interviews with seniors as much as possible, and try, sharpening your aptitude skills, like how you are thinking, basically. Because in interviews, the main thing is, you don't get much time to think about things. So, I mean, the more you practice your problem thinking abilities, root cause analysis of various problems, so that will actually help you a lot to prepare for the interviews.
Thank you, Pratik. So, Suman, do you want
Now,
to add anything?
Yeah, so as correctly mentioned by Pratik and Dhaval, communication skills is very important. Also, just one thing I would like to add is just like when you are preparing your CV, just think on how every point has something to add. Okay, so what like if they ask you, suppose for example, in my case, it was my co-curricular activities that ultimately played a key role in me getting the internship. So when they were asking me how has this what has this taught you, so you should be ready with some answers ki, okay, this has taught me leadership skills, this has taught me something which might be useful for your organization. So these kind of things, just give a thought into these things, and yeah, uh, other things they have already mentioned.
Yeah, I would also like to add some things to it. Like I have Neville with me who had interned last year in the ITC. So he just gave me an input right towards the specific GD round actually. So students usually ignore this fact about GDs. So they directly go into GDs and they apply the normal thinking which they have. So what he suggested is try to have group discussions too while you're preparing. So you still have a month, gather your group, people who are targeting the similar profile, take up a topic from the seniors maybe which has been put up in the last years, and try to practice GDs also, because that is what something he feels that students miss actually.
Thank you, everyone. That was amazing.
now with CDC right around the corner, what are the some last minute strategies to finally revise and summarize all the different topics and subjects learned? Dhaval, would you like to start?
Honestly speaking, I might not be the right person here because there weren't any last minute preparations as such for this specific role. So it was all about your generic knowledge and whatever you have already. It's nothing about last minute preparation as such for this profile, especially from my point of view. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, Pratik, would you like to move next?
Yeah. So yeah, correctly said by Dhaval. There's no last moment preparation, but yeah, one thing which I would suggest is to kind of ace your interviews is to actually gain like a very good knowledge of the current FMCG industry. So I mean, I remember at my time some plastic sachet or something was about to be banned, or some government rule was there to ban something. So I had like asked my interviewer, what is PNG doing to counter it, or what the strategies are there. So I think that brownie points you get if you FMC interview. So last moment, I mean, it's very preferable. Like technically, the concepts and all, I think for HUL and ITC, they're required for like some basic concepts of maybe thermodynamics or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah, some kind of concepts. And in PNG, you can just practice your interview, like mock interviews, speaking skills, communication skills, and general view and perception of the FMCG industry. That will be great, I think.
Thank you so much. Now, someone, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so for ITC, what I've already mentioned is they will ask you what your favorite subject is. So this is a very standard thing they do, and just try and prepare one or two subjects, core subjects specific, like if you can, very well, because they will ask you like on that. So that is one thing that you should do if you are trying to get into ITC, and also speaking and communication skills are important. And for GD round specifically, what I feel is you should see what your strong points are and then build a strategy based on that. So if you feel you are a good speaker, you can communicate well, try and control the GD, try and like speak first. But it is a high risk, high return game, so you have to be aware of that. And if you feel okay, my thinking skills are good, I might put forward a very good point, then you should find the right time to put forward your point. And with me, this is what happened, because the entire GD was based on 2 points that I gave. So that was a plus point in my case. So these are some of the things. And also you should not ignore anything. Like if you have done some extracurricular activities, like I stress on this factor a lot, so that might also give you an edge. That might also tell them ki, okay, you have explored things other than academics, which might help you in the future in managing management skills and all those kind of stuff. So yeah, so just be like confident on yourself and just go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Suman. That was really insightful.
So moving ahead, now we would like to take questions from the chat box. Uh, we will take it one by one. So one of the questions is, how is the process requirements different for off-campus FMCG internship? Does CG pros have does CG or PRs have as much as impact for an off-campus FMCG internship?
Would any of the panelists like to take up this question?
Okay, so I'll just go first. For ITC specifically, you should know who to reach, like who to approach. So you should have a like for ITC, you should have a good LinkedIn profile, because that is what they will see first. And after that, yeah, basically whatever things are important in on campus interview process, that is the same in off campus. So it's almost the same in the case of ITC.
Thank you, Suman. Pratik, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sure. So like off campus, basically, I don't think it happens much in PNG at least, that you can go off campus and have, because basically they what they look at is what's your campus, like IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay and all. So basically they will recruit you in that pattern only. So, and the process and all is very similar if you are having an off campus also. So I mean the psychometric tests are the same and everything is the same, interviews and all. So yeah, I mean there's not much of a difference. But yeah, again, CGPRs will have an impact off campus also. So yeah, there's nothing to take away from that. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Suman correctly mentioned. Yeah, we like first step for getting an off-campus internships is a network which you have with your seniors or alumni who are specifically working in that company. So if you want an off-campus internship or maybe targeting one, so do reach out to your seniors, do reach out to your alumni who have been working there. You will simply get this information by interacting with your seniors or maybe going through the LinkedIn profile. So that is highly recommended if you're looking for an off-campus, because I feel that's the only way. They might have a career section in their website, but yeah, it's not much too responsive. So you just reach out to relevant seniors for ITC, HUL, PNG. there are many alumni of KGP who are there, so they will definitely help you and let you know a way if there's any. So do reach out to your alum and seniors. That's all.
Thank you everyone for their valuable inputs. So the other question is that can you list down the resources which can be helpful for preparation? Would anyone like to take up that? Pratik, can you start?
Yeah, yeah. So, see, for PNG, there's, as I mentioned already, there's no need of any technical knowledge as such, at least for our interview process which happened. So, in terms of resources, what I would suggest is, there's a book from Sunil Chopra on supply chain management, which can give you a good overview of, how the supply chain works, and you can have a general understanding of that. And I think resources basically mean you should be like clear of some basic concepts from your engineering discipline, whatever you have, and some basic knowledge of the industry, supply chain and all. So yeah, I mean that's it. And for aptitude, and as I said, there's no specific thing to prepare for. It's just like your structured thinking, your way of thinking, decision making things and all. So yeah, that's it. Not much really on the resources part.
Would anyone like to add anything?
Yeah, your experience is your only resource actually. So try to gain as much as experience you can from the competitions or internships projects. I guess that's sufficient. No specific hardbound or defined resource actually for supply chain, I suggest. So yeah, try to participate as much as in different competitions and get to try to get an overview of different industries basically.
Yeah, so as correctly mentioned by Dhawal, your experience is very important, and also small experiences like what you have experienced in life, maybe an incident that happened with you. Even these things, sometimes they are helpful in your interviews, because if they ask something like, is there anything that has taught you this? Then maybe you can mention, okay, this I had this incident in life, and that taught me how I could manage these things better. So yeah, so basically, you should be aware of yourself first. You should have a very good understanding of yourself, who you are as a person and what you have done. So that is something I would like to mention. Yeah.
Thank you everyone. That was really valuable. One of the other questions is that can we do the competitions now? I think this is in context with the CDC coming near.
To
So
be honest, not much actually. Try to focus on whatever you have already. Even like there's, I guess, only a month away from here. Still, definitely you can try to get an overview if there are any existing competitions on Unstop or maybe D2C or any platforms. So yeah, but if you are a first year or maybe targeting from right now, just look out forward to these departmental competitions which they are like Prakriti or maybe Megalith or any Ocean Engineering Society, Samudra Manthan, I guess. So yeah, they'll definitely help you. It's not like that they're underrated or anything. They're equally important. As in case of myself, actually, I participated in the Prakriti, which had the problem statement of similar related to agri business and reducing the middleman. So it included actually improving the supply chain. So this is from where the supply chain word came into my CV. So yeah, don't overlook these competitions. But for now, yeah, it's uh, too late actually. But yeah, students who are from the first year itself do participate in this competition and take these very seriously. Like not just for the sake of participating, but yeah, do them very seriously. Take a good group, take advice from your seniors, and just participate in them.
thank you. That was really insightful. Anyone wants to add anything?
Yeah, like if it's 1 month away, there's nothing much you can do about it. The most you can do is, participate in just participate and have a look at the problem statements, what they are, and use your own solutions to kind of this. But yeah, for more junior people, I would definitely recommend ki matlab keep participating in all other competitions which are, and it will definitely help you build a better profile.
Thank you, Pratik. We are near the end of this profoundly enlightening panel discussion. Panelists, do you want to give any general fund for the CDC Janta? Suman, would you like to start?
Yeah. So okay. So first of all, be very aware what you are looking at. So if you are trying to apply for any particular company, you should be very aware of their profile, what is the job description. So that will help you get a good understanding of what you are going for. And after that, like, don't think too much, don't overthink, be calm, and just take it step by step. So if you have to fill a Google form, that is what you should focus on. And for, like, in ITC's case, for the Google form, I would suggest ki go through their core values and try to in like use those words and whatever is there on their website in your answers. And after that, yeah, so for every round, you should have a strategy. You should have something in your mind already prepared. Okay, this is how I'll approach it. So after that, for the technical interview, you should know your concepts very well, and speaking skills are important. And finally, in the HR interview, you should be yourself and try to answer the questions as honestly as possible. So present yourself very nicely, and ultimately you have to show that you can be you can add value to whatever they are doing in their organization. So this is your ultimate goal. So yeah, so that is, keep calm and just focus on whatever is in front of you.
Thank you, Suman.
Yeah,
That was
please do
very nice.
highlight on this point. Actually, Janta, what he said is the Google form response at the first step, which is so many people in the rush of applications on CDC portal, like there are many incoming opportunities. So just apply and fill those Google forms very randomly. But in case of FMCG, please don't fill them very randomly. Take them very seriously because this is an important step to filter you out. Reach out to your seniors, whatever they had filled. I'll not recommend you to simply copy whatever they had filled in their form, so it would definitely not get you shortlist for the next round. But yeah, getting an idea of what they actually how they are as a person and what they actually filled in the form would help you to replicate the same thing with yourself. So just be honest and fill that form very seriously. Don't take it lightly, and take a sufficient time out from your schedule and then fill that form, not in any hurry or anything like that.
That was insightful. Pratik, would you like to add?
Yeah, sure. So see, in terms of general fund day, so it basically starts off by, you should have a clear expectation from CDC. Because at the end, CDC is kind of a process to get you an internship, but ultimately you want that internship, right? So you should actually filter out that, I want to sit in this, I want to sit in this, prioritize yourself, what you expect out of CDC, because CDC can be a bit uncertain at times, but if you are determined ki I am only targeting cities for this, then you will be satisfied, and you can also go. There are many better options as well. So yeah, and in terms of FMCG, basically see what happens is there's nothing you can do in the last 1 month or something to kind of push off your preparations. It's actually more based on your experiences, what you have done till now, what your profile is, and just yeah, interact with the relevant seniors as much as possible. And the psychometric test and the Google Forms, or the, like in PNG's case, the behavioral test which is there, please give it very seriously, and in a focused environment, so that you just don't miss out anything, or you are giving it with a full concentration, because these things matter a lot with FMCG companies. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And for any specific thing, you can always reach out to us, either of us, to uh, discuss anything company specific also.
Thank you, everyone. That was very, very insightful.
Now, taking this seminar to an end, we are really grateful to the distinguished panelists for generously sharing their time, insights, and experiences with us today. We are incredibly appreciative of your contributions, which have been truly priceless. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation to the audience for attending the event on a weekend and actively participating and engaging themselves throughout the seminar. Your participation and enthusiasm have greatly enriched this event. Thank you, all of you.
We sincerely hope that the information and the knowledge shared during the panel discussion will prove beneficial to you. Our goal was to provide valuable insights and practical takeaways, and we hope that you found them valuable. With that, we conclude this session, and before we disperse, we have a brief announcement to make. Next, in this Road to Intern series, we will have a career building workshop, mock interviews, and much more. So stay tuned for that. We eagerly anticipate meeting all of you again. Thank you very, very much. Take care and see you all soon.
Thank you, all of you, once again.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.
Yeah.